Greetings, adventurers. This is DM Kurt, and I have Macuahitl, White Box Role-Playing in the Aztec Empire by Basic Expert. Basic Expert is a known OSR publisher, writer, YouTuber. And what he did is a bunch of research as to the Aztec Empire. And he put his role-playing game, which mimics the White Box rules. So the old, one of the OE pre-AD&D rule sets. You really don't need much of any other materials to play this. Pretty much standalone. Okay, where does he start with? How to pronounce Macuahitl words. Cool. Macuahitl has 4 vowel sounds represented by the letters A, E, I, and O. These vowels are pronounced yada, 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 yada. Similar to Spanish or Italian, with each vowel sound pronounced clearly and distinctly. Okay. With a few consonants are a little different. Okay. In Macuahitl, the stress is generally placed on the second to last syllable of a word. That's an interesting rule. Okay, cool. Getting started. Use standard D&D dice. Your attribute scores are rolled 3d6 down the line. So first you take your 3d6, throw those down, that's your strength. Roll 3d6, boom. That's your intelligence. Boom, 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 till you get all 6. Note that charisma is not a dump stat. Charisma has tended to be a dump stat in a lot of older games. Charisma is not. Your charisma, your initial charisma score, will determine your social status. Generally speaking, you are in the merchants and artisans of the score 9 to 12, because that's how bell curves work. If you don't know how bell curves work, and go see first edition AD&D guide, gives you, or go to high school mathematics class. Anyway, this determines your maximum number of followers you can have at any given time and their base loyalty. So having followers is kind of important. It's nice to have a few extra people to help back you up when things get rough. And it also helps if they're loyal. Alignment. Aztec society operated within a strict class-based structure. So we use law, neutrality, and chaos, a 3-point alignment stat situation. The lawful character adheres to and respects the established order, even though their society did some bad things that we would consider evil. As a chaotic one seeks to directly oppose the order dictated by the gods and the hierarchical structure of the Aztec society. Order is appeasing the gods so they don't destroy the world. So that means sometimes human sacrifice to keep the gods from destroying the world. So take your pick on alignment there. The zodiac sign. Your birth is randomly determined as for what day your character is born, and the parents have up to 3 days to name the child. So they can name him on his birthday or up to 3 days later. And the day you are named determines your place on the zodiac chart. It is a complicated chart, and it reminds me a lot of the first edition Dragonlance supplement for AD&D, where you had to track the three moons of Kryn to determine whether your mage was able to cast spells at higher or lower ability for that day, which could get a little tricky. So depending on your date of birth, you have your own zodiac sign, and that is Macuahitl, the crocodile, is a lucky Tricena, and those born under this sign have happy and lucky lives. Your saves have a +1 bonus. Or you could have Macuahitl, grass. This is an unlucky sign. Those born under this sign must roll 1d6, and you reduce that attribute. Yeah, roll a d6, random attribute is reduced by 2 points. Yeah, there's banes and boons for your lucky and unlucky days. So the zodiac and the way of the stars affects your character on a regular basis. Status points and achievement. So you don't earn experience points and you don't deal with money, okay? So you don't have to worry about counting coins. You earn status points the same way you'd normally gain XP. And you can trade your status points for levels, or you could trade your status points for hiring followers or getting more equipment. This forces you to make decisions, okay? We are asking of our players that they put some thought into the game. What do you want your character to do? Don't just, it's not just a video game type thing where, you know, this little number just gets higher and higher and higher and yay, you know? Making decisions that affect the world around your character. Character sheet, fairly simple. Okay, ooh, our artwork, it is black and white and red. Black and white and red. Okay, going for a theme. Some of the artwork is, you know, looks like cave drawings or carvings. I like that one. I like that one. Anyhow, let's keep going. So, the character classes. There's only one spellcasting class, and the rest are all martial. Okay. Eagle Warrior. Oh, look at that dude. A dexterity-based warrior. He has sneak attack as one of his abilities. And he's good at surprising people in attacks. That's kind of cool. Jaguar Warrior. He's tough. He has strength. Check out that artwork. Dude has a shield, has a helmet, looks like a helmet/hat, looks like a jaguar. Really cool. They don't have a lot of heavy armor in here. Hit dice are all D6s. Weapons all do D6 damage. And I believe, let me look this up. I made some notes. I believe critical hits are done with exploding dice. I know somebody who loves the concept of exploding dice over D20 crits. The Poketeka, or merchant class. So they have a character class who is diplomacy, right? Diplomacy and negotiation. Deals. You get a discount of 5% plus 1% for every level when spending status points on anything other than leveling. So that's your money guy. Okay. 5 to 10% off on things. Notice the levels only go up to 10. That's all you need. Okay. I have a dog here that wants attention. Okay. Nahuali. The Nahuali are your priest class. You have no arcane casters. They're all priests. Spells of up to level 5 at level 10. So, cool. They get their hit dice a little slower, but that's okay. Otomi Mercenary. The Shorn one. They are considered elite warriors. Okay. Still, another type of warrior. Equipment. The note about weapons. They are unique, crafted from wood and obsidian without any metal components. Obsidian blades, although razor sharp, are brittle and prone to breaking. To address this, in combat, there is a rule for damaged or broken weapons. And then there is a rule for repairing said weapons. So that's something you usually don't have to deal with. Melee weapons, they explain some of the... Look at that guy. It's like a big cricket bat with razor sharp obsidian on it. That's the Macuahitl weapon. The conquistadors claimed that these dudes could basically decapitate a horse with the thing. That's dangerous. That's a two-handed chopper. Missile weapons. You got your basically javelins and blowguns and slings and stuff. Armor class. You can do ascending armor class or you can do descending armor class. You know, it's an easy conversion, you know. Either way, it's how much better than AC-10 in a different direction. Some basic equipment, types of followers. Note that you have to spend status points for either followers or equipment. Spells. Okay, we're at the casting of spells. Yuck. All right. Yes, there's... Yep, that happens. That's in there. If you're squeamish. Black, white, and red ink. Okay. Sorcery and mysticism held great significance in Aztec societies. The classic rules distinguish two types of magical practitioners, those whose skills rely on intelligence and those who draw from religious wisdom. For the Mexica people, sorcery was intertwined with their religion, and the Nuali employing the same divine powers as high priests during sacrificial ceremonies. There was no clear distinction between the supernatural and the divine. So there's only one casting class. The spells are all, they got 5 levels of spells. They have 10 first level, 9 second level, 6 of levels 3, 4, and 5. It's a handful of spells, but they're all themed to the setting. So we have Omen of the Jaguar, Jade Shield, Veil of Smoke, Whispers of the Wind. We have one in here that you throw an obsidian knife over somebody and it explodes in a burst of obsidian chunks that cut everybody in that area. So it's basically like Fireball, except more grenade-like. Okay. But you could use the inspiration of those spells if you were to, say you want to play 5th edition or Pathfinder or something, and have an Aztec-like people, a primitive people, who use their own brand of spells, and have it thematically kind of cool. Adventuring. You acquire status points by adventuring. Yes, you can get some by killing and defeating enemies. Same as XP, right? You get 5 times as much if you capture your enemies alive. That's a neat little thing. Rescuing captives from enemies. That's 250 status points per. Conceiving a child. Character must be married. So you are expanding the population of your city. Okay. Successfully raiding an enemy village. Discovering a new source of precious materials. Successfully performing or taking part in a sacrifice ritual. Yuck. Escaping capture from enemies. 1,000 points. So, successfully defending a city from attack. His basic rules are to reward you for doing things, not necessarily killing people. The sacrifice thing, if you're playing the Nuali, that might help you with your spell casting. Time, movement adjustments for running, carrying stuff. Yeah, light, repairing weapons. You're going to need that. Gaining power and influence in society. He's getting into domain play. Something a lot of modern gamers don't really deal with, because it tends to be seen as a slow thing. Building strongholds, building temples, maintaining the same. Random encounters. Okay, I mean, that's a thing. Random encounters, depending on the area. Discovered locations. So you're out there exploring. The exploration. Okay? One of the pillars of gaming. There's, combat, role play, and exploration. Exploration is not usually really leaned into. Discovered locations: ancient temple overgrown with vines, secret grotto, sacred grove guarded by powerful spirits, a massive stone statue of a god. Why is it out here all by itself? And that could be its own little adventure seed. A sunken city beneath a body of water. That is going to be hard to explore. But again, there's a kernel of maybe the party wants to give that a try. Secret location of a legendary artifact. I mean, there's all kinds of. He's got multiple tables. You're rolling 4 tables of 20 each. So he's got 80 different locations, and then you can riff off of that. Using the wilderness as the dungeon, okay? You have these rival city-states, and then you have what goes on outside of the city, all right? The dungeon is the wilds. Stated, boom, the dungeon is the wilds. So you don't know what you're going to run into out there. In his monster section, you could run into animals, people, or supernatural beasts of Aztec legend. Like I said, like I keep saying, dude did his research, and different kinds of ghosts and creatures and stuff. Wilderness events, so boom, a mudslide, or you find some herbs. Combat tables, how initiative works. White box rules are side initiative. Players and DM each roll a d6. That side goes first, the other side goes. You don't roll for individual characters. The attack matrices for the different character classes. Every character has a different chart. Looks a lot like Thaco in the way it goes up and down by 1 point each going across. Yeah. And you could use descending or ascending armor class, real easy. The optional armor class versus weapon rules from, I guess it was older than I thought. First time I saw a weapon versus armor table was first edition AD&D, but it's in here too, so it might have come from old white box. Kind of interesting. Hit dice are d6s. Damage done by weapons are d6s, and if I recall, it's exploding dice. So yeah, you could be down to 0 real quick. Okay, it doesn't matter. Maybe it's exploding dice. I'm pretty sure it is. Morale checks. The setting and running the game. He goes deep into the setting. So, I'm just opening up here. In 1200 AD, the Chichimecs, a group of hunter-gatherers, settled in the Valley of Mexico. In 1325 AD, the Mexica people, known as the Aztecs, found their capital city of Tenochtitlan on an island in Lake Texcoco. In 1375 AD, Tenochtitlan, and he has his own timeline, so you can pick what goes on. And then the various city-states attack each other. Various major cities and locations. Get in here. We have hex maps. We have several hex maps, okay? He's got a full setting. He's got a full set of rules. And the adventure is to go out and explore, all right? Explore the wilderness, see what you find. Go to war with the other city-states. Herbalism, you could yank that one out and throw that into some other game. Hey, I found some of these wild onions that are good for your digestion and help you get a saving throw bonus when you get sick. Things like that. I like this book, honestly, and I wouldn't mind running it. It's just the Zodiac thing is a little on the complicated side. Like I said, reminds me of a first edition Dragonlance book with their 3 moons with their separate phases, which affect your spellcasters, so you have to keep track of it. My my gaming group said they won't play it because they don't want to play the bad guys. Okay, you don't want to be the Aztecs. You could be the conquistadors coming in with their particular religion, saying that, hey, this human sacrifice thing's going to stop, and then try to proselytize to them or fight them. Chances are, if you try to proselytize, they're going to fight, and they're going to try to keep with their old ways because they honestly believe that what they're doing is keeping the world from ending, or so they've been taught. So you could try doing the diplomacy and proselytizing thing as an outside group, or you could be a member of this group and do the fighting between city-states. Your choice is how do you run it. This is not compatible with 5th edition. I don't know what it's compatible with other than OSR type, white box type games. You could use parts of this as a resource. As such, and from how well I believe it's written, I recommend this book. It might be a little bit of a shelf queen because you might not be playing it, running it directly, but as a DM, you could use this for inspiration. So, all in all, a thumbs up. That's Macuahitl by the Basic Expert. Damn Kurt.